Hello, Dileep. Good morning. This is Atul from Silicon Valley in Cambium office. Very nice to have you today in this seminar.
And good morning, good evening to you, Atul, and thank you so much for having me on your on this talk. It's a real privilege to be here.
Excellent. Well, Dileep, first of all, I have to say thank you so much for being a very loyal Cambium customer. And I want to start with my first key question. Where did the inspiration come from? You know, as you started WorldLink in Nepal, it's a tremendous success story. How did that happen? Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, you see, Ray, I did my college in the US, and in 1994, I was a junior at Bates College in Maine. And my elder brother, who is a computer engineer, he was a senior at University of Washington in Seattle. And he went about exploring Linux, and he got a simple email server set up on a Linux machine. And he told me about it. And I told him, why don't you go back to Nepal and set this up? Because it would be really nice to be able to send emails to our family and not have to spend a lot of money on phone calls, which back then was prohibitively expensive for poor students like us. He listened to the idea, but he didn't want to go back, so he didn't do anything with it. But the fact that he could set that up on a simple computer got me thinking that this is something I should go back to Nepal and do. And that's exactly what I did. So in 1995, in the summer after my junior year, I came to Nepal with a simple, back then, like an 086 computer, and set up Linux on it and got a simple email service going.
That's an amazing story. Very inspirational for, I'm sure, lots of entrepreneurs. As you created the network, I noticed you use a lot of core technologies now, and you developed a lot of core competency, because some of the markets you serve, they are a low ARPU market. So you have to be pretty innovative. Describe some of these key core technologies you use to provide a very reliable network.
Sure, Atul, we have seen the whole spectrum, since we're talking about going all the way back from 95 to today. So earlier on, it was all dial-up. We were in the dial-up modem era, and that's how we grew. And from there, we went to fixed wireless. In fact, my first introduction to your products were when Cambium was part of Motorola, and that was in the late 1999, 2000. So I've been using the product since then. So we went from wireless, and then we went to copper. And then since 2014, we have focused almost 85, 90% on fiber. So today the core technologies we use in the access are FTTH, and that's what we see as the technology that will take us into the future in our urban and peri-urban markets. When we talk about going rural, and when I say rural, I say very, very rural, then we look at the fixed broadband, because we still see that covering those markets will take us a lot of time, and it will be very CapEx intensive. So for now, we are serving those markets with fixed broadband, and that's the access technology. And in the core, we have a lot of technologies that we use from Juniper and Cisco. So it's the access technologies today are to the last mile would be fixed broadband and fiber. Of course, when we talk about the home, once the broadband reaches home, it's almost always Wi-Fi now. Nobody uses copper in their home anymore. So the importance of Wi-Fi from let's say a couple of years back today is like maybe 5x more for the home user, simply because Wi-Fi is the predominant last mile access technology for anybody today. Phones don't have a copper port. It's almost always Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi, I don't see that as even an access technology. It is like it is the irreplaceable last mile, last home technology for our customers, and so Wi-Fi has become much more important than it used to be.
That's Dilip, that's what I find very magical in terms of what you guys have created. You've used Wi-Fi, which is in some ways not the most deterministic technology,
Yeah.
but you've used Wi-Fi to create a very deterministic network with fantastic quality. And so that's what I find very, very surprising and very um, just very unique about your network. So, what are some of the things you guys did to make this network so deterministic?
Well, you see, now let's talk. When you talk about wireless, let's talk about Wi-Fi that we are doing for public, and Wi-Fi that we're doing to serve the masses that are on the streets, in dense urban areas of Nepal and most South Asian countries. Uh, we still feel that 4G or 5G don't meet the needs for this population. We have embarked on putting in lots and lots of access points all over the cities in Nepal, and today we have around 14,000 access points sitting on streets and in cafes and shops near the street side, so that people can use that for getting internet access. We have done that through a lot of engineering. It takes a lot of effort to figure out where the access points should be placed and how they should be backhauled. We are very fortunate that we have a fiber network that spans most of these places. So the backhaul for us is very, very easy. The most difficult part for us is the power. And how do we power these units and keep them on all the time? And we have done that by tying up with shopkeepers, with stores, and offering them free internet in exchange for allowing us to put a UPS and pull a cable from their store. And that's the model we have rolled out to bring Wi-Fi throughout the cities. And it's not where we want it to be yet, but we are very confident that this network will be the network that will serve the masses who don't want to spend the money or who can't spend the money for getting a 4G or a 5G connection in the future.
Excellent. Well, let's shift gears. Let's. Any questions you have for me as we kind of have this conversation, especially on
Yeah, Atul.
Cambium directions and things like that?
Yeah, Atul. So, we have seen Cambium for many, 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 many years. As I said, we have been using Cambium since 1999, and always very impressed with how reliable these products are. They aren't the cheapest in the market. There are cheaper products, but Cambium, in my opinion, strikes the best balance when it comes to price, value, and reliability. So how does Cambium continue to innovate and deliver these high quality products at such an attractive price point, especially when we compare it to your other established competitors who have similar products, but they are priced much higher? How do you guys do it?
I think, Dilip, first of all, we are big believers that you have to use merchant silicon wherever you can use, because that's where there are volumes, the pricing is competitive. And a lot of our innovation happens in RF algorithms, antenna designs, cloud management, and very sophisticated way in which we handle noise and other RF complications. That's where the value is. So we always try our best to make sure that there is mission critical quality, yet there is tremendous focus on affordability, not cheap, but affordability. And and I think in long term, most of our customers understand that there is a long term ROI, because our networks will work for a very long time, and we'll keep supporting them, we'll keep scaling them. And as you scale the network, the quality shines, and there is good affordability, fantastic 24 by 7 support. That gets the scalable networks going. So over the years, that's the formula we have used. And we also constantly watch how networking standards are evolving and keep bringing those best practices from standards into our products, be it Wi-Fi, be it LTE, be it millimeter wave, doesn't matter. We keep expanding that wireless fabric from the edge towards the core and keep providing the quality. So that seemed to have worked for us.
That's great. No, we've seen it work as well. I mean, we still have we still have some units from 1999 in operation today,
Wow.
even today. Okay, because one of the models we follow is we would buy what's latest for, let's say, Kathmandu, which is the largest city, and when we upgrade it, we push it to smaller cities and then to the rural areas. So nothing really ever goes to waste in our company, because there's always a market that has a need for that technology that we feel is obsolete in the urban areas. So yeah, I would vouch for what you just said in terms of the ROI on those products, because they never seem to die, no matter how much we make them work. Atul, another question I had for you was, we have just tried out some of your Wi-Fi 6 products, the outdoor products, and my guys are saying that the range is astonishing. You know, so how do you achieve that? How do you make these products have such amazing range?
Dilip, one of the key foundations of Cambium is fixed wireless broadband. And that means antenna design. That means handling the RF propagation. So we bring some of those techniques to Wi-Fi, and especially in the outdoor, where we are designing products for different terrains, different temperatures, different weather. So in addition to all of that, we make sure that the antenna design in our outdoor Wi-Fi products leverages that superiority in antenna design from fixed wireless broadband. That's what you see here. That it's a combination of some of our expertise from fixed wireless broadband, intelligent antenna design, then marrying that to the right casing, right system design, then managing from the cloud, making sure all the products, not just the Wi-Fi, indoor, outdoor, but switching product, for example, as well as fixed wireless broadband-based backhaul, all of that is managed from a single pane of glass in CN Maestro. That's what we call fabric. That's why I always say Cambium provides a wireless fabric which stretches from few meters to over 100 kilometers if you want to use point-to-point link, wireless link, and all managed from a single pane of glass. And this wireless fabric then can be customized. No two networks are same. Every network is different. You really have to understand the application, what users are willing to pay, and then you purpose build your network. And that process of customization, selecting the right frequency, the right wireless product, all of that defines that purpose built network. And that's kind of what we do. So we'll never tell a customer that this is the only way to do the job. We always tell the customer that understand your application, understand the kind of SLA, service level agreements you have to generate, understand the average revenue per user you can command, then decide what kind of network makes sense. And that's why your network is very unique, because it is serving a community where one has to be pretty innovative to eliminate digital divide, again because of affordability. So one of the questions, Dileep, I have for you is, you saw the quality of life or users life in general before you brought broadband, and now after many many years your broadband has made hopefully a lot of difference in people's life, schools, connectivity in general in the society. Describe some examples. How has life changed since you introduced these services?
Well, Atul, it's been a very interesting and rewarding and fulfilling journey, because I remember still early on when I would go and install email software on a customer's computer, and they would get their first email. They would be shocked, you know, and there would be delight and on that they are suddenly now being able to receive an email from a loved one or from a business partner, and it's inexpensive, and it's not a fax, basically, because that was the technology at that time. And then going forward to when we moved to providing broadband access, one of the pushes from our company was to roll it out as soon as possible to outlying areas of the country, not just the urban markets. And the motivation for that came from a study we did and some trips that we made, including myself, to areas where we had just started providing internet services. And these are not rural areas. These are still urban markets in our country. And we were able to find like a lady, an old woman in her late 70s, who was staying by herself because her son had migrated overseas. We have a large migrant population that lives overseas, and she's not able to meet him, and she's not able to see her grandchildren. But she told me that thanks to Skype, which was used heavily at that time, she's able to see her grandchildren every day. And she asked me that whenever that, please don't let the internet go down, because when it goes down, she's not being able to meet them, not being able to see them, and that's very important for her. Similarly, we met a police station in an outlying part of the country, and they told us that thanks to the internet, now we're able to exchange information with other police stations when a crime happens, and we don't have to rely on sending documents. Education. We went to a school, and they told us that now they don't have to rely on getting books to start education. In Nepal, it's always been a problem that the government doesn't send books on time. They don't get it printed on time, and they don't send the books on time to public schools, especially in outlying areas. They said that now it doesn't really matter as much because they can start it over the internet. They can get that material over the internet. So there are countless examples that we were able to find, and these examples, they reinforce our belief about connectivity. Our company, we want to enrich lives through connectivity. That's our purpose of WorldLink, or my company. And when we see these examples, we feel more emboldened to live this purpose and to roll out connectivity. That's why we've been doing what we've been doing for the past 26 years.
Absolutely. I think that's so fulfilling. When we got Cambium started about 9-10 years back, the vision we set was connect the unconnected, people, places, and things. And in last 10 years or so, Cambium has now shipped 11 million radios to 175 countries, approximately connecting 125 million people. And I think applications and networks which you have created, it's a great example how entrepreneurs can really bridge that digital divide and bring quality of life to so many people's life. So my last question, Dileep, for you, how do you plan to grow, and how do you plan to keep your competitiveness? Because markets are pretty competitive in this space. So growth and competition, just give me kind of your strategies there, and how can Cambium help you in executing those strategies?
Well, Atul, I'm fortunate that in Nepal, there's still a large unserved market, and until 2 years back, most people felt that that market would not need connectivity in the near future, but the pandemic has changed all of that. Suddenly, everybody wants connectivity. They realize that if they have connectivity during a pandemic, their children can still get educated. And for families, I think that's paramount in Nepal. They can go without food, but they must make sure their kids are getting educated. So because of the pandemic, now we are under a lot of pressure to roll out our networks faster and faster and connect these markets, because they are not willing to wait, which means if we don't do it, somebody else will go and do it. So for the next 3-4 years, we don't see a challenge in terms of finding areas to grow. So we are looking forward to tremendous growth actually in the next 3-4 years. Now, growing is one part, but how do we maintain quality at the same time? And that's where we are trying to use a lot more tools centered around data science, around AI and ML, to gather all this information in one place and analyze it and try to figure out who is having problems even before they report it to us. And we are procuring tools and also developing some in-house tools to help us with that. And I think your platforms really help us with that as well, your web-based platforms. So we are using those. And I have always believed that if we give high quality, and if we focus on quality, the customer will always stay with us.
Right.
There will always be some churn. It's just the nature of the business. But if we focus on quality, and today, what quality means for the broadband user is that the service should be reliable. It should be available when they turn on their Zoom class, for example, and the network should not fluctuate during that time. So if we focus on making sure we give that quality and reliability, the customer will not leave us, even if we're a bit more expensive. In the
Very well said.
past, I wasn't so sure of that, but today, because people realize the value and the importance of broadband, they're willing to pay that premium, provided we do deliver that extra quality that they need. So
Absolutely.
our strategy is to focus on quality and provide that to the customer. And we're also bringing in some more supplementary services along with broadband. For example, we already have an OTT IPTV platform that provides live TV and video on demand to our customers. We're coming out with a surveillance solution. A lot of houses and businesses need surveillance, and they want it to work on a centralized platform model rather than having individual cameras that cannot be remotely controlled. So we're coming out with that kind of platform for our customers. We're coming out with a centralized PBX, an IP PBX model for enterprise customers. And also managed security for our enterprise customers. So a lot of things in the pipeline. But what I'm most excited about personally is what we're doing with you guys, which is deploying this massive Wi-Fi network to give citywide Wi-Fi coverage. And why I'm excited about is that it really comes to our core values. It really comes to why we exist as a company, which is to connect everyone anywhere all the time. I strongly believe that if we deploy Wi-Fi on a citywide scale and make it work, that would really contribute, change their lives, because they would suddenly have high quality internet on their phones without having to worry that, oh, I may have used it too much today. What if I use it too much and I get overcharged by my carrier? They're always worried about that data cap. And that's where, Atul, I need your help. I need
Yes.
Cambium to step in and partner with us, because we can't do it alone. We can do everything that's required on the ground, but we don't have control on the technology. You guys have that. And I was just talking to Sumit, and he told me that you guys are working closely with us, and I'm very grateful for that, because achieving this is very important to us.
Totally understand. And I think one of the key things, Dileep, what you have created in Nepal, what it really proves is broadband is a lifeline, right, for everyone, especially post COVID. And it's also clear that different communities, different countries will have different affordability and different architectures. I think in your case, just using Wi-Fi and turning that into a reliable network and making it affordable for lots of people is the right solution. And some of these solutions will be very applicable for lots of developing countries where people have, they can only afford low ARPU, and yet connectivity is very much necessary. So we will keep innovating, we'll keep providing you lots of products, all managed from the cloud, and you guys keep offering that affordable connectivity, so quality of life improves in these communities and people have this lifeline. So thank you so much, Dileep, and very proud for you to be one of our very key customers, and keep in touch and keep doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Atil, and thank you for all the support that you and Cambium have extended to us over the years. It's really enabled us to reach those markets and serve those customers that otherwise would be beyond our reach. And so together, we have really transformed the lives of some of these people, and that's something we should all be very happy and proud about.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Atul.
Dileep.
Thank you for this
And
opportunity.
thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Okay, you too. Take care.
Thanks. Bye bye.